I don't know how I used to function prior to AI. I mean, going back pre ChatGPT would feel like using Stone Age tools, but ChatGPT's old news now, especially as Google has quietly been amassing a set of tools that if you can master, you're going to become one of the most dangerous people in your industry. And I'm going to walk you through all of these today, kicking off with Google AI Studio. This is a catch-all that a lot of people still don't know about for some reason, but it holds all of the best tools from Google that are really easy to start using. So you can see you can start off in this normal sort of chat window, but it gives you access to a full studio of tools from its nano banana imaging system, URL context tool, native speech generation, and a whole other host of features on the left-hand side here. So you can see if you start clicking into these, you could say the URL context tool. You can see what are the top 3 announcements from Gemini API. You can put a link in there and start querying it. It's going to go start scanning and getting information from that URL to feed back what you want to know. There's also things like native speech generation here and the imaging system. So you can say the new Nano Banana upgrade that it's got is actually really good, particularly for editing images. And what's cool is when you start using this stuff, you can even save conversations into your Google Drive so you never lose track of them. But you can see here it's gone and actually it's created a nice image in a pirate costume of a banana. Actually, pretty good. It's pretty impressive that you can start using, and then you can go and start editing and playing around with these. There's also settings on the right hand side for all of these chats, which is the temperature. So you can go to 0, which is not very creative, not very random, up to 1, which is highly creative, highly random. And then there's also other chats here that you can access. You can go to this left hand side button, you can click stream, and this is really cool. We could say that we wanted to share a screen, and we could share a screen, let's say this one, we could share the BBC on this window. So we can see we've got a second tab open here, and now we can actually chat or prompt with Gemini Live to get information from that screen. So if you wanted information on how to use a tool, it could help guide you through it, or we could just say even things like what's on this screen and get it to give us feedback about what's in there. It actually doesn't just type back, it actually reads it back to you in voice, so you can get audio live back as well. There's even a generate media section where you can start using their video, image, and music creation systems through this, but we'll get into them a bit later. And build setting where you can actually start creating apps or using apps within the Google AI Studio. So this is really an area where you can access a lot of the power of Google without having to go and find individual different tools. So this is a really great place to start. And if you're looking for prompts that you actually want to start using, particularly for marketing, then you can access my marketing prompt chest. This thing's got like more than 90 prompts in here, from forensic psychology analysis to customer needs and pain points in here. There's a link in the description where you can get all of this completely for free. And speaking of free, there's the next Google tool, which is Google Firebase. And this is your vibe coding platform where you can start building and running applications right from your Google account. So if we go into Google Firebase Studio, you can see I've actually built some apps in here just from vibe coding conversation really quickly. I built an SEO forecasting app, or we could go and start something completely fresh and say, let's just hit the I'm feeling lucky button, the classic Google I'm feeling lucky button, which comes up with a sleek habit tracker. We can run and start prototyping this with AI and actually build out, vibe code out an app straight away, almost within a couple of minutes. Here we go. You can see it started coding and building the app already just in a couple of clicks. Now, a lot of the code in Firebase also runs using something called GenKit. This is an open source framework for building AI powered apps, built and used in production by Google. Now, this is a little bit technical, but essentially it's a framework for building your AI automation apps and stacks. So just like back in the day, something like Java and JavaScript would actually have frameworks that everyone would start using, everyone working in the same way. GenKit aims to do exactly this. Essentially, it's a unified interface for integrating AI models from multiple providers, bringing a framework for everyone to use in the same way. So you can see it actually works from JavaScript to Go to Python to Gemini with OpenAI, Anthropic, to try and bring everyone into a similar way of working, whether that's in platforms like Google Firebase or if you're developing something yourself. You have a framework and a structure to work in rather than everyone starting from zero themselves. Now, onto some fun stuff. We've got Google VO within its DeepMind area, and this is its state-of-the-art video generation model. And you might have seen some of this stuff around, or you might have seen videos and not even known that it was actually AI generated. I mean, it's actually wild, some of the stuff it creates that you can see here that is just, you can barely pick it from AI to real shot video. So we can actually jump over to something like Gemini, which is, I guess, Google's competitor to ChatGPT, your conversation window area where you can do deep research video, images, canvas, all sorts of things. But you can actually use VO within Gemini. So you could say anything really. You could say man in a sombrero riding a glowing alpaca, and it's going to start creating a lifelike video or a creative video around that subject. Now, Gemini is the LLM that is similar to ChatGPT, but it has some differences. One thing that's different is it has something called gems in the side. Rather than custom GPTs and projects, this is what Google is running with. And you can see you can have different pre-made gems, which is a storybook creator, a brainstormer, a career guide, a coding partner, all sorts of things in here, an outreach specialist that you can dig into that it can write to a new customer informing them about a new project. So you can, just like you'd build a custom project or a custom GPT, you can start building your custom instructions, ways of working with your own knowledge bases, which you can add from Google Drive, which is a handy add-on. So if you're really embedded in Google's projects, then you might enjoy using Gemini. It has its Flash model and it has 2.5 Pro, which is its hardcore reasoning, maths, and coding model if you're wanting to build stuff out. Our video is ready here. We've got our man, right? Like, it's wild that we can generate this stuff with AI now in like literally a couple of minutes from a conversational prompt. You can use it for fun stuff, but obviously you can use it for some pretty heavy hitting advertising, Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever you're trying to do, social media content. You can create some pretty epic stuff now. Now, where things tend to be kept a little bit more low key, and you might not have heard, is somewhere called Google DeepMind. And this is where a lot of their research and their trials and their beta projects are sitting right now. So you can see that they've got Gemini, Gemma, and generative models in here. But down the bottom, they've got AI prototypes and experiments. We've got Astra, Mariner, and Diffusion. Now, these haven't really been built out and released yet, but they're research prototypes exploring the capabilities of Google projects. So Project Astra is aiming to build a universal AI assistant. This is something that's going to be able to work alongside you with wherever you are. So instead of maybe having to build out your own custom automated workflows or build out agents to do specific things, you're going to have a context-aware assistant with you everywhere you go if this works out. Now, in here as well, we've also got something called Project Mariner, which takes things a step further and is a human agent interaction starting with browsers. So this could potentially run in your browser as well, either naturally built in or as an extension, probably starting as a Chrome extension, to automatically assign AI agents to handle time-consuming tasks, research, planning, data entry. They can tackle tasks simultaneously in browsers running on virtual machines. So they wouldn't even have to run it on your computer. It would have its own virtual area that it can work in. You can see some of the stuff here that it's scheduling stuff in Google Calendars, Google Drives, writing documents, organizing things for you. So this is what we're moving to in the future, is an AI agent working on tasks for you, searching, building things, creating stuff, organizing your calendar, all automatically while you get on with the higher value tasks. Now let's move away from some prototypes into some stuff that's actually live and working. Now, if you go onto the Google homepage, you'll see there's a new button and it says AI mode. And this is a new way of searching that directly competes with ChatGPT's search and Perplexity, those challengers to Google's dominance. So we could type in here something like pizza restaurants in Truro and search that. We're going to get our normal search come up. We could have hit AI mode, or you can switch to AI mode within search, and it's going to do an AI search, just like we're used to seeing in ChatGPT now, and give us a smarter answer. It's going to go and search all the sources for us and give us our summary here. So we could do this with anything. We could say, what is Bitcoin? And it's going to do this sort of AI agentic search as well. Go and do all the research and find the information that we need rather than us having to click through links. Now, as an SEO specialist, this is a massive shift in terms of people aren't clicking through to websites. They're doing all their research within the browser. They don't even have to leave Google now. So all of this research and this marketing funnel is being condensed in the top of people's informational research is being done within Google, within ChatGPT, within these AI modes. So companies need to focus on further down the funnel. But as a user, if you haven't been using AI mode yet, it's definitely a step up from having to sift through all links yourself and trying to piece together information. This is going to do it all for you in a second or two. Now, for research, there's one daddy that beats everything else out there at the moment. This is the workhorse of AI tools, and it's NotebookLM. Now, you can see I've used it extensively for all sorts of things here. I've even used it recently for analysis of different things. I use it for newsletter curation, for example. You can see here that it's really easy to build out a notebook. The way you use it is you fill it with sources of information. On the left here, you can see all my sources. YouTube videos that I've been looking at, articles I've been reading. You simply hit this add button. You can add Google Docs, slides, websites, YouTube, and copied text, or you can discover new sources if you want it to search for you. And it's going to bring that in here. Now, when you start typing in this box at the bottom, this sort of LLM box, which uses Google Gemini, the information it searches isn't just from its massive training base or the web. It just uses the sources of information here. So if you want to question particular sources of information, just use NotebookLM. But it goes deeper than that. Not only could I say what are the most common stories in AI this week from the sources I've given you, you can actually build out information. So we could actually build out a mind map. We can create reports, briefing docs, study guides, FAQs, timelines. You can even create video overviews and audio overviews. So the audio overview is going to be two people talking in a podcast-like format for you to learn and find out more about this information. Again, the video overview is going to create a presentation with someone talking you through the information. The mind map is going to create a mind map of information, which is a really nice breakdown. I use that a lot. And the reports here, a study guide, an FAQ, a briefing doc. If you've got a lot of information and you want a short briefing doc to catch up to speed, maybe you've been away on holiday from work and you've got a lot of emails, or you want to catch up on a lot of news from your industry, bang it all into NotebookLM, use the briefing report or use the podcast feature to catch up quickly rather than having to disseminate the news yourself. And the final tool from Google is something called Opal. And this is a way to build mini apps almost in seconds. You can see some of the ones that have already been made here. A product researcher, for example, it actually builds out. If you've ever used something like make.com or N8N, you can actually see this is a similar flow. It allows you to build these workflows of giving information, conducting tasks with your AI brain or AI agent in the workflow, and giving a result. So you can just create stuff really, really easy and really, really quickly with no technical knowledge. So we could say, can you create a YouTube to video blog post app? And it's going to create this workflow for you. That was very simple. You can see here it allows us to put a YouTube URL in, generate the blog post. It's written the prompt. It allows us to select different modules that we want. If we wanted to generate even audio, images, deep research, everything in there that we might want to use in our workflows, it's actually going to do it in an HTML web page format for a blog post ready to go. Obviously, we could say we want to put it into a Google Doc or something like that. We can actually select what we want. Content is displayed as we want. Save to Google Docs. There you go. Create slides. All sorts of things in here. So if you want to start automating workflows, let's say you want to take a YouTube video and create it into a presentation that you want to give, then you can do anything like that, or you can actually probably get pretty complex with it in its generations. And guys, I've talked a lot about Google's tools here today. If you want to find out more about how to use NotebookLM, then you can actually watch this video where I go into its top use cases. This is really handy. It's a workhorse of AI tools from Google.